Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys enjoyed the Army of the Dead review that I had posted. I think I posted it on Saturday. So hope you guys enjoyed that review. Back with another news collab video. Just to give some clarity as to what's been going on these past couple of days. It's been kind of a chaotic week, to say the least. I think my room kind of symbolizes that a little bit with clothes on the bed and everything, but a lot of change has been happening lately. Saying tomorrow I have my final goodbyes to a close friend of mine who's going to college. So that's taken a toll. Within that also, we've been working on a film for the past 2 years, and tomorrow is our last day working together on it, and ultimately the last day for the film to be completed. And it is pretty much where we want it to be, and we're just basically looking at it one more time, giving our final goodbyes and all that stuff. And on top of that, school is ending pretty soon, so it's kind of a just chaotic week, to say the least. So if I seem a bit like, I don't know, just chaotic myself or stressed, I apologize. It's just a lot to take in personally, and also just personal things in my life right now I'm just dealing with. But I always love doing these videos because it helps me take my mind off things for a little bit, and it helps me focus on things that make me excited and happy, which is of course movies. And we're going to get into the topics for today. Now, before we get into it, I know that there are 2 trailers that are posed to come out this week. I'm curious if you guys would want me to do reactions to them. I know that the Tomorrow War trailer is coming out tomorrow, and then I believe on Thursday is the first trailer for Old, M. Night Shyamalan's next film. If you guys want me to do reactions to them, I can, just to change up some variety on the channel. Just maybe to start doing some trailer reactions, yeah, so I mean, I can record them, and if you guys want me to publish them, I can put them out, or we can just keep doing the talking through the collab videos. So you guys let me know. But let's get into the video for today, because we have a lot of topics to get into today. And the first one is of course, the big story of the week is we have our first trailer for Eternals, the next film from Marvel Studios. Actually, it's Black Widow, who's coming out next in July with the premiere access. And then it's Shang-Chi in September, and then it is Eternals in November. This is a huge ensemble. We got Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Gemma Chan, Richard Madden, Brian Tyree Henry, and Kit Harington, and then so many other people. Directed by Chloe Zhao, who of course directed the Oscar-winning Nomadland, which she also won the Best Director Oscar for. And as we just laid out, it's going to be released on November 5th of this year in theaters, so no premiere access as of yet. I've been interested for Eternals, I'll put it that way. I wasn't the biggest fan of Nomadland, as maybe some of you guys if you guys have watched the videos, have known. And I was curious for Eternals, just to see what she would deliver, and hearing some of the praise from Kevin Feige was, I wouldn't say it made me more excited, because I feel like I've heard this type of praise before from Kevin Feige, and he might mean it, but it doesn't really hold much merit for me personally when it comes to these Marvel films, because tonally speaking, they're all the same to me. I mean, they all retain the same formula and structure. And while Eternals, at least based on the trailer, kind of bears those types of bones and skin, tonally speaking, I actually think that there is a little bit of a different idea at play, and I like that. And I would say that that's honestly the one thing of Eternals, at least from the trailer, that's got me interested. Beyond that, it looks like your typical Marvel film, and I'm fine with that. I mean, saying a typical Marvel movie does not necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but it just means that it looks fine. I do think that it looks visually okay, because there's a lot of people online saying that it looks like visually stunning and everything, and I think a part of it is because they've said that most of the film has been shot on location, which is nothing new. We've seen that a lot of times, um, but maybe that's a little bit of it, or people legitimately probably think that it's visually stunning. I don't personally think so. I think it looks fine, to be honest. There's some shots in there that look good, but nothing like that screams whoa, like that's amazing, at least for me anyway. But I'm curious to see how this team plays into the MCU, and the explanation for what they've been doing this whole time, not helping the Avengers and all this stuff. And I have a feeling that it's not going to be set in the present. It's not going to be set in the past, because they've been teasing this movie as like a big, sprawling decade epic, and I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be like the opening minutes, like maybe like 20 or so minutes of the past lives that they've had, and then interweaved within their present, they're going to show their past, like little clips of their past selves, like their introductions, basically. Like, this is Angelina Jolie, she's this fierce warrior, and then they show you how she is a fierce warrior by showing you some of her past. And then they go to Salma Hayek, and like she's the queen or something of these Eternals, and then they show you a past self of her as the queen of the Eternals. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's probably what's going to happen. Again, it all depends on the execution. Again, I wasn't the hugest fan of Nomadland. I will say, however, that the one thing that I was very happy to hear with Eternals is that it's not edited by Chloe Zhao, because one of the things I did not like about Nomadland is the editing. So apparently they got Paul Thomas Anderson's editors to help edit the film, which, again, the thing about these Marvel films that we always have to remember is that it's technically not the director's film, it's Kevin Feige's film. So wherever direction he wants the film to go, he just pops in a director and see, if that director will be able to helm the ship the way he wants it to go, and also, it's tonally speaking, giving hopefully a new flavor to the MCU and just brand new characters to flesh out and everything. But because I don't really buy the whole pitch thing that Kevin Feige was saying. She's like, oh my god, this pitch sounds incredible. People tend to forget that pitches are very different from production. So, I can come to Marvel and bring an incredible pitch, but when we get into production, that pitch cannot exist at all. So it's saying things and doing things are very different things. And just based on the trailer, I just don't think that it looks as incredible as Kevin Feige has put it. And I just think that it looks okay. It looks like your average Marvel film. Again, that's just my opinion, but hey, I'm still looking forward to it. I'm still going to go see it, and I think that the cast itself looks interesting. I love the range of the diverse cast that they've put together. First death superhero, I've heard, awesome, love that. I think that the cast itself looks interesting. Just curious to see how they bond together. But yeah, not a bad trailer. Not super excited, but a decent trailer nonetheless. So, all right, and we have another trailer. This one dropped today, actually. This is the first trailer for Last Night in Soho, Edgar Wright's next film. It's starring Anna Taylor-Joy, Thomasin McKenzie, and Matt Smith. It's directed and written by Edgar Wright, who you guys have known has done some very notable films in our pop culture today. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Hot Fuzz, At World's End, I believe is the name of that film, and Baby Driver most recently, which I really, really enjoyed. Comes out on October 22nd, 2021, presumably in theaters, and I'm a little mixed on this one, because I think that visually speaking, it looks pretty interesting. And I think that tonally speaking is where I have my issues. I'm not sure what to make of it. I didn't hate what I saw, but I wasn't really feeling it. I don't know why. I wasn't really like entranced by it. I didn't think the style felt distinct. It felt a little scattered to me, and I kind of wanted there to be a little bit more. How should I say it? It looks like that Edgar Wright's going to be playing a lot more visually than he did with like Baby Driver, which was a lot more about the pacing, the editing. Rather, with Last Night in Soho, it's going to be a lot more visually driven. So I think there's some interesting ideas at play, and I think that it feels like it's like something from like potentially that could be like that, atmospherically speaking, not visually speaking, or kind of visually speaking, kind of reminds me a little bit of something like a 70s film or like a yeah, more or less a 70s film. And I think that it has potential. It looks promising, but I'm not super amped for it or very excited for it. The trailer didn't really give me a lot to like get really, really hyped about, because I really do like Edgar Wright as a filmmaker. I enjoyed the hell out of Baby Driver. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this comes about and how this works, and if it ends up working. But it looks interesting. I'll say that, promising, a little bit promising. But I'm a little bit worried, tonally speaking, because I just don't know how to navigate the tone that they're putting in this trailer. But on some point, it feels weird because when I say that out loud, I actually think of that as a good thing. But unfortunately, it just doesn't. This one just feels kind of off. It doesn't feel like it's complementing the film well. But we'll see what happens. So, okay. The next and last trailer we're going to talk about is the first trailer for, I've been hearing about this film for a couple of months, for Gunpowder Milkshake. If that title sounds kind of cool. Stars Karen Gillan, yes, Nebula herself, Michelle Yeoh, Angela Bassett, and Paul Giamatti. Directed by I believe it's I forget, but it's directed by a guy named Navat Papushadu. I forget how to say his last name. I believe he's an Islamic filmmaker. I could be wrong. And has a release date of July 14th, 2021 on Netflix. I will say this: the first half of the trailer, I was interested. I thought it looked kind of fun, and I think I was digging the style of it. And then the second part of the trailer happened, and I thought to myself, I hope I didn't see the whole movie, because I feel like I just watched abbreviated, like short version of the movie. And I hope that's not the case, because there are some interesting things that I think the movie could do well, and I think it could be potentially just a lot of fun. And I think Karen Gillan looks interesting, and I like the style of it, like playing around with like an anime type fighting, and just atmospherically, I kind of get an anime vibe from it. But it looks interesting. I fear that the trailer showed me a lot, and I'm glad to see that Karen Gillan is getting a starring role, and I'm cautiously optimistic, because I feel like the trailer just showed me the whole movie, but hopefully not. But we'll see. So, all right, now let's get down to some of the news topics for today, because there's some interesting things that happened very, very recently. First of which that happened yesterday. Yes, yesterday. Was that we got some news on the Willy Wonka film. Yes, we're getting a new Willy Wonka film. It's going to be a prequel, and it is being directed by Paul King, the director of the Paddington films, which I've enjoyed a lot. It will center around a younger Willy Wonka, and it's called Wonka. And so far, it has been slated for March 17th, 2023. Well, we now know who will be playing Willy Wonka. There was a short list that went out. I believe Tom Holland or somebody was a part of the list. But who was also part of the list, who is now our Willy Wonka, is Timothee Chalamet. So Timothee Chalamet will be playing Willy Wonka in the prequel film. I'm not sure when. I'm pretty sure they're going to start filming sometime next year. But I think this is a solid casting. I will admit, I am not the biggest Timothee Chalamet fan. I just don't think I don't personally love him as much as everyone else does. I think he's a good performer, not a great performer. But I will say, though, for the roles that I've seen him play and his mannerisms and all that stuff, I do believe he is a solid fit for Willy Wonka. And I think that this will be an interesting I think this will be an interesting performance nonetheless. And someone posted online, like I thought it would be an interesting casting, was Ryan Gosling. I thought that'd be an interesting casting for Willy Wonka, but I am not. I am not upset at all that Timothée Chalamet is taking on Willy Wonka, even though I don't think he's particularly great as a performer in terms of casting Willy Wonka. From that short list that I saw, I thought Timothée Chalamet probably would fit the bill much more than, say, Tom Holland. So, yeah, I don't think that he's a great performer, but this particular role I think suits him pretty well, right? And I think will suit him pretty well, and I think we'll probably get a decent performance out of him in Willy Wonka, hopefully. So, yeah, so that was a good casting. I have to admit that was good casting. Okay, next topic we're gonna get into. This one happened pretty I would say like a week or so ago, so I'm a little late on this, but I think it's pretty interesting stuff to talk about, which is Batgirl. Batgirl, for those who don't know, was supposed to have. I think they were supposed to have it out like a year or two ago. Joss Whedon, for those who don't know, yes, Joss Whedon, was originally supposed to direct a Batgirl movie. I believe this was like back in like 2017. And then, of course, with all the allegations that came out of Joss Whedon, Batgirl basically pretty much got canned. It wasn't really shelved. It was more like just put off. I wouldn't say canceled or anything, but just nothing really happened with it for years. Well, apparently we now have new development on Batgirl, which is that they have found their directors. So according to the Hollywood Reporter, quote, Adele El Arbi and Bella Fala, I'm probably butchered the shit out of those names, I apologize. The duo behind the 2020 hit Bad Boys for Life have closed a deal to steer Warner Bros.' DC feature centering around Barbara Gordon, the daughter of Gotham City Police Commissioner James Gordon. Christina Hudson, who wrote Bumblebee and is in Warner's fold with her screenwriting on Birds of Prey and The Flash, penned the script for what is being planned as a movie for HBO Max. We'll get to that in a second. Christian Burr, who is gearing up for the release of Cruella later this month, is also producing. And that's all they have for now for Batgirl. So Batgirl now has directors. It's going to be the guys from Bad Boys for Life. And, at least according to this article, it is exclusive to HBO Max, this particular film. I think, personally, that all this is good. I think that this is all good stuff. I personally liked Bad Boys for Life. I think it's the best Bad Boys movie that we've gotten. I was not a fan of the first two films. So I think that these two together I think they're decent directors to put for Batgirl. I also think, tonally speaking, what I saw from Bad Boys for Life, I could see being interweaved into Batgirl, and creating an interesting tone out of that. And as far as the HBO Max thing, I think that that's a smart move because that's WB understanding what they have on their hands, financially speaking, because even though we know Batgirl and a lot of other people might know Batgirl, the general public are not going to come just to watch Batgirl. They're just not going to. And they, it just doesn't have that type of financial pull. So they think that it might do better, financially speaking, on HBO Max. Granted, a lot of their films on HBO Max right now are not doing so well, but those movies had potential to also make money outside of HBO Max. Batgirl looks to be one of those films that would likely not be successful in theaters, or at least not it wouldn't meet the company standards, let's put it that way. So they see this as working much better on HBO Max versus being in theaters, and I think personally it will benefit them more on HBO Max than in theaters. So yeah, I think the directors are good choices, or at least fair choices, and I think the HBO Max strategy is actually a decent strategy for Batgirl. The screenwriter does concern me a little bit because I did like Bumblebee. I did. I thought Birds of Prey was fine. I didn't hate Birds of Prey. A lot of people didn't like Birds of Prey. I thought it was fine. And obviously the Flash movie we'll wait and see. But yeah, Bumblebee was okay. I liked Bumblebee actually a lot more than people did. I thought it was a very charming film. And I just didn't think the strength of that film was the screenwriting. I thought the strength of that film was Travis Knight and the chemistry between Haley Steinfeld and Bumblebee. Um, but and also the simplicity of it. But we will see how this goes. I think that so far with this new development, I think that it's good development, and I think that hopefully this will steer Batgirl in the right direction. And I think from a financial standpoint, I think that the HBO Max strategy makes sense, and I think the directors are decent choices. They also helmed Miss Marvel, the first, I think, the pilot and the finale for the Miss Marvel show happening with Marvel Studios. So they've dipped into Marvel, and now they're dipping into DC. And it sounds like these directors are hot right now, because it's like after Bad Boys for Life, they've been getting deals everywhere, it seems. So they're pretty hot right now, and it's kind of the Hollywood thing, pick up some hot directors. So I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed Bad Boys for Life. I thought it was a decent film. So I think that give them a shot. See what they do with it. And I think the HBO Max strategy is good. So all right, moving on. Speaking of DC, let's get into Aquaman 2. As you guys know, the first Aquaman film came out in 2018 and was a huge success, where a lot of people thought it was going to not really perform well. I was one of those people. Made over like $1 billion. Well, the sequel, obviously, which is coming, is now going to start filming in July. Jason Momoa has confirmed the news, and he's also confirmed that he was also involved in the writing. At least in treatments, and they didn't even actually write in the script, but he was involved in treatments, and James Wan and everybody, of course, went and took that treatment and pitched it to Warner Brothers, and wrote their scripts out and everything. But yes, he does have a hand in the writing, which is interesting. And yes, Amber Heard is still involved. I know some people were kind of pissed off about that, but yeah, Aquaman 2 is happening. Probably Patrick Wilson will probably be returning. And I'm wondering if Dolph Lundgren will return. I'm curious or did he die? I think he died in the first one. I'm not sure. But I thought Aquaman was, yeah, it's one of my least favorite DC films from the DC Extended Universe. Wasn't a big fan of it. So I'm hoping that the second one is better. But I do like Jason Momoa in this role, and I am looking forward to Aquaman 2. I will go see it, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the first Aquaman. So, but it's good to know that they are starting to film soon. We'll likely get some set photos pretty soon here, and good on DC for getting finally gearing up and getting other DC films out there to start filming. We have The Flash that's been filming now. We're now getting Aquaman 2 that's going to start filming, and I believe Shazam 2 is now filming as well. So good on DC for finally now, starting to finally get their projects out there and start finally shooting them. So good on you, DC. Because there was a period of time when there was no DC films being developed, or at least being filmed. I think at the time the Batman was the only thing that was being filmed, but now we have 3 DC films being filmed. So that's awesome. All right, and the last topic for today is another sequel topic. Knives Out 2. We've been hearing a lot of casting these past few days, and 3 of them we forgot to mention, which is Kate Hudson, Kathryn Hahn, yes, WandaVision, Kathryn Hahn, and Leslie Odom Jr. have joined Knives Out 2. Now, Knives Out 2 is also starting to film this next upcoming month, June, in Greece, and let me see if I remember the whole cast. So now we have Daniel Craig obviously coming back. We have Dave Bautista, Edward Norton, Janelle Monáe, and then I believe Kathryn Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., and Kate Hudson. That's the whole cast we have right now. Presumably, I think there's probably one more or two more they might announce. But as of right now, this is the cast that we have assembled. Really good cast. And I personally enjoyed the first Knives Out. I thought it was a good film. I thought it was a charming mystery. The writing was great. And I really liked the ensemble itself, so I'm curious to see how this ensemble plays out. I'm also curious to see how they differentiate themselves from the first Knives Out into this one, because I don't want it to be the same type of story. Obviously, it's going to be a murder of some kind, but I want the circumstances and the navigations to be different. I don't want it to play the same as the first Knives Out, and just the only difference is location and scenery. So I hope that there are some changes within that, but I dig the new cast. I've enjoyed Kathryn Hahn in WandaVision. I really liked Leslie Odom Jr. in WandaVision. Or sorry, I've enjoyed Kathryn Hahn in WandaVision. I've enjoyed Leslie Odom Jr. in One Night in Miami. I thought he was very good in that. I believe he got an Academy Award nomination for that film. And Kate Hudson is charming. I like her. But yeah, solid cast put together. I'm really interested to see what they do with the sequel, and hopefully it's not, anything repetitive like they did in the first film. Just hopefully they make this one distinct, and it's not just another. I don't want it to be the same story, just with a different location and environment. I just don't want that. So hopefully they differentiate themselves a little bit, but the cast looks pretty good. But that is pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much it for this video. I talked about a couple of trailers, talked about some news topics there and there. And like I said, if you guys want me to do some trailer reactions for like the Tomorrow War trailer and the old trailer, you guys let me know, because I can just do those reactions whenever and publish them on YouTube. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. You guys let me know your thoughts on all these topics. And like I said, kind of a chaotic week, so obviously I will be doing my review for A Quiet Place Part 2. I am so excited for that film. I might actually do a review for the first film before I go see the first film. Or I might review the first film before I go see the second film. So as you can tell, like I said, I'm a little chaotic. So sorry if my energy is just kind of going all over the place. But yeah, let me know if you want me to do my trailer reactions. I'll definitely do those. And I will definitely review A Quiet Place Part 2. If not before, I will also review the first Quiet Place. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to A Quiet Place Part 2. And Cruella we will also review as well. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be safe, be protected, wear your mask, social distancing, or be vaccinated, whatever. And that's it for this video, guys. Hope you guys have a safe rest of your week. I'm gonna go lay down and calm down, because it's been a chaotic day today and probably another chaotic day tomorrow. And that's pretty much it for this video. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.